Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Wanted to see if this was actually going to work out. So if you are here from the link on the slicing and Cricut design space video that I just posted, go ahead and
make a big
why are you still okay? Let's get rid of that. So there we go. If you are here from the Cricut video, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know if you came over here based off of that video and the link that was at the end of that one. Just wanted to kind of see how that works when it's redirecting you here from a previous video. But how are you guys doing? Told you I was going to try and squeeze in a regular Q&A. We had a really good HSA instead of a PSA. It was an HSA. It's an honestly speaking announcement this morning, and that was great and hopefully, helpful to your spirit and whatnot. But now we're going to go to our regularly scheduled Q&A. Trying to keep it to an hour. That way I can kind of get something to eat too before my evening live session with my Academy members. We're going to go over tracing. So yeah, we're going to do that. But it is Q&A time with the professor. How are you guys doing? Also, I have something to celebrate. I just realized when I was switching accounts that I just hit 17K on HS Inc. YouTube channel. Yes. So we just hit 17K on Honestly Speaking 365, and we are 200 away from, we're actually like 100 and it's like 170 something from 25K on Silaholics Anonymous. So make sure that you guys are hitting subscribe on the channels. Why does YouTube have me looking crazy? But yeah, make sure you guys are hitting subscribe on the channels. There we go. And so that we can hit our 25K on Silaholics Anonymous. But thank you guys for getting me to 17K on my second channel, Honestly Speaking 365 Sublimate. Well, not Sublimation, just Honestly Speaking 365. There we go. All right, I had to change this image because YouTube tried to play me, homie. All right, so that's changed, and let's go over here. All right, gave you guys enough time to kind of get on, get notification, all that kind of good jazz. So we are going to get started in just 30 seconds. Be right back. I didn't even know my video was there. Let's get rid of that. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. All righty, today's live is brought to you by shop.silaholics.anonymous.com, which is our shop where you can get your Honestly Speaking products. That is your sublimation ink, your sublimation paper, your pigment ink. And I guess because it's now no longer a new product, and, I guess they've accepted the fact that, who's those people? Epson has moved on from the 7720. Our vendors are, they've taken that price down on the 812 cartridges. So we have a price drop announcement. I need to take this down. We no longer have the giveaway. But for the 812s, we are getting a new shipment in, and the price was different. So now there is a price drop on it. Right now, it still has the old thumbnail, but you'll see the sale price, and so I can get the new thumbnail changed. So now the 812 cartridges with the syringes is 75 instead of 94, and the chips only are now 57 instead of 73. And if you want to get the full one with the ink with it, that is, instead of $162, that is now $139 for that whole bundle. And this is for the Epson 7820, 7840, and 7310 printers. So there is a price drop because the price has now gone down overseas from our vendors overseas, because I guess they finally accepted the fact that there's no more no more 252s. Well, there's still a need for them, but they're no longer making the 252 printers. So now they aren't super, super expensive. Like before, I mean, they were expensive for the chips for this, for these cartridges or for those printers, and the cartridges for them. Like it was super, super expensive, but we now have a price break. So check out, honestly speaking, shop.silaholics.com. If you have one of those printers, we do have the cartridges, ink, and all of that for it. So you can use pigment ink in it or sublimation ink. If you are using it as a pigment ink printer, when you're buying just those chips, they are XL rated chips. So instead of spending $130 on XL cartridges, you will only spend $57. So, Nina, I'll take care of that for you. Don't worry about it. Just email me and remind me. Email us. We'll take care of it for you. All right, love? So that's that. Also, if you are interested in learning graphic designing via Silhouette Studio or take any of the classes that I have on the site, visit Academy. Woo, Jesus. Visit academy.silaholics.com. Click on all courses to see all the courses we have available. Or if you want more information about our memberships, which our live Zoom session tonight is through our master's and doctorate membership, you can check out memberships on academy.silaholics.com. The links for those are in the description of this video. So today is, well, right now, today's session, or this session right now, is Q&A. During these sessions, you are able to post questions. This is broadcast on both Honestly Speaking and Silaholics Anonymous. So it can be a combination of silhouette questions, summation questions, pigment ink questions, business-related questions, anything like that. So this is your open forum to post your questions. All right, we're going to be on for about an hour or so. So definitely go ahead and post your questions. You don't have to wait until the next, until one question is answered before you post yours. It works a little bit better if I can flow through and just see all of your questions and answer them that way. All right. Oh, I'm still on this one. How y'all doing? Y'all good? And I was supposed to put on my chapstick before I came over. So hold on, give me a second. Because y'all know my lips will get so dry so quick. So I had to wet my whistle. How y'all doing? I am Shakia the Professor. And I just love to do these videos. This is my job. This is what my company is based on, is helping you guys. So I love to do the Q&As because I know not everyone is able to, at this time, take my classes. So I try to come on to do Q&As for you guys to help. And then sometimes and I've had a lot of my Academy members on here, but sometimes you might need a question answered now versus when we have a live session. So I do these to help you guys in real time. If you have not checked it out, if you didn't come here from the last video that I did, I just posted a Cricut video. I'm not all silhouette, guys. I know like Cricut, I know Photoshop. I mean, I have Affinity. I'm not a fan of it, but I do have both affinities. I have Illustrator. I want to get Corel Draw back. That's what I have to go buy. Probably going to buy that this week. I miss Corel Draw. But I plan to do more videos on the Honestly Speaking platform from different programs because I know not everyone uses Silhouette, and also sometimes you outgrow it. I use both Silhouette Studio and some of these other graphic designing programs because you can do more in some of the other ones. So eventually you will need to kind of elevate and upgrade and learn more robust programs. So I'm going to make it my business to teach you guys a little something from those as well. Not sure if and when I'll do full on classes. Now for Photoshop, I do have an essentials for Photoshop class. It goes over like the true essentials. If you're just trying to learn it, I mean, there's a lot there because it is for photoshopping images and like, switching them up and doing things like that. But as a crafter, there's only certain tools that you're really, really, really going to use when you're just starting out. So I do have an Essentials to Photoshop course on my Academy site that you guys can take. And we're going to do another one of those like live before the end of the year. So just go ahead to Academy and so you can stay up on what new classes we have available. All right. So let's get into this. Let's say hello to a few folks and start answering some of these questions because we're going to be on 45 minutes to an hour, whichever comes, well, up to an hour. If the questions kind of die down around that 45-minute mark, then we'll end there. So questions dying down or an hour, whichever comes first, is how long we'll be on. All right. So let's see. Okay, so that's what I wanted. It's supposed to, like, it was, I did that one and it was supposed to send you to this video. It is now. It's up now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, hey. How you doing, ma'am? All right. They are well. MJ came home. My baby was the only one in his class for his, I think it was either reading or writing. I forget which one it was, but whichever one it was, they had a quiz last week and my baby came home and told me he was the only one that got 100%. He's smart like his mama. He was the only one in the class that got 100%. So they're good. I just pressed a shirt with 30 during that 30-second intro. Best paper. See, you can do a 30-second intro. You can finish you a whole shirt so that you don't miss anything. You ain't have to miss an additional 30 seconds because you got that HSE game changer paper. Woo-hoo! I need me some sound effects. All right. So let's see. Can you tell me what I should do? I'm having banding on my 15,000 and the 7210. I'm proud of myself. I followed you on I followed you on the one of your mom's step-by-step. Okay, so here need you to answer a few questions as far as the banding. Or actually, I'll just answer it this way. For anyone that's having issues and like your color's not coming out right, first step is to do a nozzle check, not a print head cleaning. First step is to do a nozzle check. The nozzle check will let you know the state of your print heads. So this will, if everything is perfect on there, then it's not your print heads, it is your print settings. So then you need to go back and look at your print settings, and that's going to cause banding. But if you look at your nozzle check and the lines are incorrect, like you have breaks in one of the colors, then that can be where banding lines can come from. Excuse me, because it's missing segments of it. It's not missing all of the color. It's just that, when you're looking at your nozzle check, there's all those lines. So if it's breaks, that means that there's gaps when it's printing out. It's missing segments. So you'll get it from there. If you have broken lines in your nozzle check, then you do a print head cleaning and then do a nozzle check to check it afterwards. If it's back working, hey, you're good, ready to go. Go ahead and print. If you have some broken lines, I do not recommend that you just keep repeating print head cleanings. The best thing to do is to watch my video on pushing air through your cartridge because it's going to do another print head cleaning afterwards. But this will really clear it out that first time versus doing a bunch of print head cleanings, Purge files really don't work for like clearing it out. You're just wasting ink at that point. So you want to follow my video on pushing air through the vent hole with the paper towel and all that kind of good jazz. I'll try and get that link and post it while I'm going through the rest of the questions. I'll post that link for you guys. Also, you can come back to this video. I'll post the link in the comments of this video and you can go watch that one. So that's what you will do. Once you go and you have that, if you do have banding, you want to check your print settings. I have a video on print settings. I need to do an updated one on Macs. I'll try to do that today, not today, tomorrow while the kids are at school, because I did go over them. So if you go to Silaholics Anonymous, when I set Silhouette Studio up on my husband's Mac, I went over the print settings at the end. So it starts around like the 44-minute mark, but I'll do one that's just for printing probably tomorrow. So yeah, you can look out for that one, but you want to check your print settings. If you're printing on plain paper standard or plain paper normal from a Mac, you're going to get those banding lines. You have to take it up to at least high on a PC, but I actually recommend setting it to quality. On a Mac, it needs to be set to quality as well, and then slow it down. But though that video will walk you through step by step by step on how to set up your print settings, okay? Hey, Doug. Yeah, I had a Hershey, and there was still some almond in my mouth, and it kind of went down the wrong hole, but I'm okay. How is everyone doing? When I purchase a class to learn Silhouette, will I have access to the class anytime I need to refer back to the video classes? You sure will. All of our classes, you have unlimited lifetime, the lifetime of the website, which, you know, hopefully doesn't have to end anytime soon. I pray that I'm in a position to continue to teach and continue to pay for the website that my classes are hosted on or where they're stored on. So as long as nothing happens with that company, we have our videos, but I keep a backup of them in case I ever have to switch platforms. I have a backup of all of my videos and all of my classes. But yes, you can watch the Mac as many times as needed. My thoughts on the 24-inch, they're not positive. It's not necessary. For me, it's not my company. They do what they want. However, with the way that their program is, to me, version 3, 3.6, 3.8 was the best version of their program. A lot of people don't want to go back to that because they feel like they're losing out on something. I mean, all you really lose out on is what? The ability to save as a JPEG or PNG right in Silhouette Studio. If you have a secondary computer, I would recommend keep like the one for you to like really design on using version 3. Like to me is still the best version of Silhouette Studio. You don't have all the issues that you have in version 4. So the fact that they can't get that part straight and you have to use version 4.4 for the 24-inch, it's just not, it's not a great move because you're going to have basically a paperweight. If your program can't work, you can't use the machine. That's strike one. Strike two, I just really feel like they should have stuck to a crafter machine. When it comes to people wanting to upgrade, then you go to the US cutters and like I have a 20-inch roll in and like there's a lot. Graph text, things like that. Then you move to the commercial grade ones. The blades on them are so different. They're so much quieter. It's more precise. It's a lot faster. It's just better when you go to the larger commercial grade cutters. And for 24 inches, you want something that has really good pinch rollers because the 24 cameos in general have horrible tracking. When I just did my class on beginners out of the box, I was showing the tracking and how it moves and it shifts. It's not the greatest. So to have it be a 24-inch one, it's just not made great for to be that wide. The way the rollers are and all that stuff, it's just not made great at all. So I'm not an advocate for it. I love Silhouette Studio. I love my cameos. I have 6 of them. I'm just not an advocate for the 24-inch. It's just for most people, they want it for bigger print and cuts, but for print and cuts, you're still limited to the size that your printer can do. So if you don't have a printer that's printing out 24 inches, then you're not really taking advantage of that. You're still in a 12 by 24 inch range because you're printing to 11 by 17 or 11 by 18, 12 by 18 or 12 by 24 inch paper. So you're still limited unless you have a large format printer. It's not worth it to me, but that's my personal opinion. Say it how you will. I just use my tacky paper, summation paper, and I love it. I just love it. I'm reading faster than, or putting in words that's not there. Let's see. Do I answer questions about Publisher? Now that one I can honestly say I don't use Publisher a lot. Yes, definitely give this video a thumbs up. How early did you start prepping for big selling holidays, i.e. graduation, Christmas, etc.? I actually don't. So it all depends on what you mean as far as like prep. I mean, you can start advertising stuff. I'm not one where I get designs specifically for Christmas, specifically for Easter and things like that. Like, you know, you are a business. You should be prepared all the time. You should not like make special preparations just for a holiday. Now, Christmas is a little bit different, especially if you're a sublimator, because you're going to want to do things like the Santa sacks, the ornaments, and things like that. So things that are really specific to a certain like holiday, or maybe if you were getting things for like something that's like pumpkin wise to, or maybe if you're painting stuff, you had to stock up on your orange and browns and tan paints for fall, or you want to stock up on red, green, gold, like vinyl and glitter and things like that. Those you need to do a little bit earlier and think about what it is that you want to do. For me personally, I'm always busy. I don't have a break. Like even when I was doing it, like doing custom items all the time. If you're like, if you really think about it, if you're constantly working on your business and it's like, especially if it's just you, when do you have time to go and say, I'm going to stop and I'm going to prep for this? Now, you can have your moments when you're planning and thinking about what you want to do. Try to keep it, if you know that you're busy, try and keep it real simple and not do too much. And you want to start looking for vendors and seeing what they have. And if you want to kind of like practice on some things, look, either if you're going to create your own designs, you got to kind of create that time. That's up to you really in how far in advance you plan. Because if you're going to try and create your own designs, you know how long it takes you to design. If you're trying to, if you want to purchase designs, it's like trying to research and find people who already have the Christmas designs. If you are purchasing your items in bulk, like there's quite a few of us who purchase directly from the manufacturers overseas, and we're ordering through Alibaba. You have to think about your shipping, your transit times. Right now, if you're going to order, I know for those of us who sell items, we have to prep a little bit earlier because China has this really long, it's things like 2 week, 3 week long, like break, and they're doing nothing over there. You're not getting anything in or out of China during that time frame. So we would have to plan to get our tumblers in or get our ornaments and things like that, get the Santa sacks before that holiday comes, like before that time frame comes around. You also have to think about your budget. Do you have the money to buy these things now to wait for Christmas? But as far as like advertising, kind of follow the same way that regular companies, other companies do when it comes to putting out your advertisements for Black Friday or for Christmas, or if you're going to do an Easter sale. I don't make items specifically for Easter, like how can I say, like I mean, some people like Easter shirts. My core demographic isn't really checking for a shirt that says Easter unless it's like a religious shirt. If you're someone that makes Easter baskets, it's a little bit different. You want to kind of gather all of your things that you can prep and make samples. So it just really depends on your core demographic. For graduation season, I start like 2 weeks before graduation, but everyone can't be like me. I can come up with design really fast. I know that my core demographic, I don't care if I put it out there early. I think I did that last year because everyone was home. Last year, I put it out there early. My core demographic and people who shop with me and order stuff from me still waited until right before. You can plan and prep all you want, but if your customers are last minute type customers, nothing you can do. They're going to order at the last minute. You are either going to take that order or stick to your guns to say, hey, you didn't get your order in. I can't service you. Hopefully that was helpful. Sometimes, I mean, the other day when I did mine, I had a little issue with tray 2 because you really have to look in there and make sure that it's lined up. But yeah, normally from tray 1, I normally just do it from tray 1. Who sells 4X and 5X 100% polyester shirts? I normally get mine from Jiffy. Ultra Club and Team 365 both sell them. Depending on how many you need, I do have some Team 365. I purchased them by the case. So you can email me if you don't need like my whole case and you need some, I can get some sent to you because we do have quite a few. I know 4Xs. 5X, I don't think I ordered a full case of 5X. 4X, I did. So if you need a few of them, just email me, emails in the description, and I can get some of those shipped off to you. But I normally just order mine from Jiffy Shirts. Team 365 and Ultra Club. I did the Color Lion. It is beautiful. Now you will, okay, also, how thick are the lines? When you're printing on plain paper, you're going to get some lines. You won't see them in your final press, but it shouldn't be really thick lines. It should be thin because if you're putting down less ink. If you have a question and the professor has answered it, give her a thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, hold on.
What time are you done?
Sorry, I had to make sure that my husband wasn't going to try and go get Zion Imani because I couldn't go get a phone yesterday. Well, because I tried, but Best Buy didn't have any, so I had to go to the T-Mobile store. So I told him, don't go get Zion Imani early. When you leave at 4, I'm going to go with you so I can get a phone. Follow-up question: where do you go if you want to increase vinyl size? What do you mean? Where do I purchase it from? I'm not sure what exactly what your question is asking. So can you clarify that one for me, Doug? Why does my print and cut keep cutting bigger than the image? I don't put an offset, but it cuts way bigger around the image. That is something where, I mean, I really would have to see your setup. We had our session yesterday for Monday for beginners or out of the box, and everyone that followed along, they had perfect print and cuts. So it has to be something in your setting and how it's set up. When you go to your send screen, are you seeing a line around it? If you're seeing it, then that means that there is something there. If it is a perfect contour around it, it has to be something there. If it is like it's going around it, but it's off, then it's something with either your cut settings or where you're positioning it. It's not reading the registration marks. So that can be a lot of factors. I recommend going into my Facebook group, Silaholics Anonymous Silhouette Help, posting a picture of your design page, and then like your registration marks, showing me the print of your registration marks to make sure all of them are there, and then how you're loading your mat. We had someone where, their mat was loaded incorrectly, and that will affect how it registers and how the mat pulls in. So there's a couple different factors, and I wouldn't be able to answer it direct, like right on here. I would need to see your setup to see what could be the issue with yours. She's right. I have the 24 and I have a US cutter. I only have it because I have an issue. I don't recommend it. You have an issue with just buying ish like me? But I wasn't going to buy that one. Hey, Joe. Okay. What was your question? Do you have oh, you're saying you love it and you have the 7210. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back. In Business Edition, is Business Edition having a glitch? I print through it. I get jagged lines, and off the software, all is perfect. So Business Edition is different for every single one. It's not like Cricut where anything is connected. So if you're having an issue with prints coming out incorrectly, then it's something with your computer directly, like with your computer specifically, or it could be the program and how it is performing on your computer. With version 4, you do have to have like a pretty decent graphics card, and your memory has to be up to par because it can affect it. There's a lot of different things that will also affect it. If you're using 4.4, it has that automatic PNG trace. So if your image was not a high resolution image and it had like pixelated ends around it, when it's tracing it, it could be accounting for that. So what you'll do is either go back down, or you'll have to go up to the version where you can turn off the automatic PNG trace. So like you see how that, I mean, I'll try my best to answer you guys this question, but there's so many different things. So like now I need to know like which version do you have? Was it a PNG that you were doing, or did you trace it? If you traced it, how well did you trace it? It may show well in other programs, but if you did a trace and detach, and when you traced it, it had jagged lines and it wasn't smooth, so now when it prints for you, it's going to be jagged. A lot of different variables that can affect that. She said, graduation about took me out last year. And I was fresh in the game. Yeah, graduation last year was bad because everyone was home, and like people, the amount of money they were willing to spend because they felt like their seniors lost out on like the whole senior experience and the graduating experience. I had people that were like any and everything they can get, tumblers, stoles, cups, mugs, graduation cap toppers for them to sit in the living room. Like last year was crazy. Yard signs. I did so many yard signs. It was crazy because of all of like the drive-by celebrations and stuff like that. Like it was crazy last year. Thank you. You're so helpful. I don't know what I would do without you. Oh, thank you. Yes, that is correct. Since you don't favor the 24 Pro model, next best machine for what? To print large? What are your needs? What made you want to get the 24-inch one? So do you need a cutter that's 24 because you feel like you've outgrown the 12-inch? What is your, you have to let me know what you're looking for. I just had to replace 2 of my chip connector holders on my Epson 7710, black and yellow, but the yellow is still not connecting. Do you have any other suggestions, or maybe that was a bad connector chip I purchased? So meaning inside the printer you replace the chip, or on the cartridge you replace the chip? I have a question. My 2760, no magenta. I did nozzle checks. Got it, but it has lines in it. Please help. EcoTank. I really can't like EcoTanks. There's really nothing you can do to really fix the EcoTanks. I mean, you can try to open it up and pull the ink. That doesn't always work out. I had an hour-and-a-half session with someone, and that's really all you can do. Outside of that, it's just a bunch of pre-head cleanings to try and clear that one line, or you end up having to do a power clean, but you can only do 2 power cleans. After that, it's going to tell you can't use that printer anymore because it's going to fill up your maintenance box. This is why I'm not an advocate of EcoTanks. They're great if they work perfectly, but the minute something goes wrong, they're not easy to correct and fix. I purchased a silhouette machine to learn to do rhinestones. Do you have a tutorial on rhinestones? It's not one of the things I'm big on. I do have like 1 or 2 videos on rhinestones. Silhouette Studio really isn't the greatest for rhinestones. I'll show you just like how it's kind of set up. And then there's like different versions, and there's different glitches, and some of them you have to do things to it to get it to work. So it's not always the greatest. For certain text, it's better for you to create a single line versus an outline. So there's a lot to using Silhouette Studio for rhinestones. Very simple, basic stuff. It's great. When you get into complex and starting to do like a lot of fonts and things like that, it's not the greatest. The Rhinestone Worlds plugin mixed with Corel Draw will probably be your better option, or simply just purchase font like Rhinestone fonts for that part. For other items, it's so much spacing. It's so hard to change the spacing that it's just not the greatest. But I'll go over to the screen share and just share with you some things when it comes to rhinestones. All right, so let's just say I take a star, right? With rhinestones, it just has to be a vector. If it is an image like a PNG image, you have to trace it to make it where it has paths. It just has to be a vector image or text. So we're going to go ahead and convert this to path. You're going to go over to your rhinestone tool, which for me is down here. And you have the regular standard rhinestone tool, and then you have the advanced rhinestone tool. I am not one that really cares for the advanced one. It was supposed to kind of mimic like Rhinestone Worlds and like some other ones to make it look like actual stones. It's not. It makes it where what's those things called? The spacing is too big. So on this one, I'm going to go where it's going to fill it. And let's go to NSS. On this one, I'm going to go to the advanced. We're going to go to 10 and we're going to fill that in. All right, so this one actually did them where they're pretty lined up. Like, so this one wasn't that bad as far as how it spaced it. It did okay. Let's see, kind of go here. So it is spaced out a little bit more. And that's one of the things I don't really care for it. So this is if you're using the advanced, and then this is if you're using the regular one. You can see that it's spaced out. This is bigger, so they put more space in it. You can decrease the spacing on, wait, I gotta find which one it is. So this one, oh, actually, no, this is probably as small as it's gonna go. Yeah, see you can't even adjust the spacing on these. So if you wanted your stones to be closer together, you can't. But on this one, you go back to the standard, you can adjust the spacing to make them closer together if you want more detail. The closer your stones are together, the more detail you're going to have. So 0.025. So you can adjust it and it'll add more stones. Look at how it did this area here. It's a star, right? All of these sides were exactly the same. It made a straight line here, but then on this side, it staggered it. It's not a smooth line like over here. This one, it's smooth, a straight line here, and then it's all jagged here. So it's not the greatest because this is a shape that is the same on all 5 points. All 5 points are the same, yet we got it like this over here, this one, and it's all different. So it's not the greatest. You know, I'm just showing that, you know, it's just not the greatest. If we were to use text, and let's just go, I'm going to just do as an S. All right, we're going to, if you go around it, you know, not bad. Let's see, S-H-A. Okay, so I want to see, I know some of them, it changes when you go to like the different fills. So this is around it, you know, not bad. You're not filling it in. If you wanted a single line of stones, like not to go around the world, but one single line, there are different things that you have to do. If you do like the outside, it looks kind of weird. You have to end up creating a line and recreating the shape that's like right in the middle to get that. That comes with your point editing and offsetting and some other things. If we go to like the linear, let's click on that and go here. You see how it's not smooth? Like it's this, like, what is the purpose of this little weird point here? Like, why didn't you just fill it in? Like, that's so weird. Like you could have filled this in here or had like made it stack. It's just, like how this small S is. Like, what is the purpose of this little stupid stone at the top? If we go here, look at all of this, like these gaps. that could have been stones. So right in here. And so now this is areas that you have to go in and fill in yourself. It's a decent tool, definitely not perfect. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Okay, oh, thank you. Going to turn off the auto trace. I just submitted on a mug. Man, printing out the software drove me insane, but printing out of the software drove me insane, but printing outside, I think you meant inside and then outside the software, it was just identical. Thank you, Professor. Larger vinyl jobs. I mean, so you have like, I have a US cutter. You have GravTechs are really, really good cutters. So you can go with the GravTech. I have a US cutter. Some people have gotten the one from Vivora. I've never tried that one. But anything other than a Silhouette, I will tell you that. So it may have been a bad chip. Have you tried? Sometimes I know it may seem like a waste to do, but you can also see if it might be your refillable cartridge. So you can either order additional refillable cartridges, or I mean, just for this, I love having a set of Epson cartridges around just for testing purposes. You may want to go get an Epson cartridge and put it in there and see if that reads, and that will let you know if it is the chip that is in the printer or if it is the chip that's on the cartridge. Oh, what? See, that's why I always tell people, check it to make sure, because you never know. Because you watch so much, Facebook, YouTube will put it in your, like, it'll be on your recommended videos, but you can watch videos and not be a subscriber. So thank you for correcting that and subscribing. As I always say, check your subscribe button. If it's red, you're not subscribed. If it's gray, you are. I think it's time to get a wide format summation printer. I have the Epson 2720. Which do you recommend? See, I just did a video about how the summation game is changing when it comes to printers. I'm going to come right back to that. I see a couple questions. I want to address those first, and we'll come back to that one. That's the truth. Had to get Wizard and Corel. Yep. Professor, you are the best. Thank you. I love mines. If you're printing with matte, you use your inner lineup. Without matte, use the outer line. But I love it. But everyone has different opinions. Majority of the issues was the blade comes a bit loosened. Just tighten it, and the blade will allow it worked. I was going to give up, and now I've forgotten about Cricut Explorer and the Professor. And the Professor. I feel happy. Let's see. Exactly why I brought my Cameo Pro. I don't regret it. Just only thing, wish Amazon would hurry up and make 24-inch mats for non-brand. Guess I'm gonna have to set up. Set up your 7210. All right. How do you feel about the white toner printers? That's another good one. So we'll end this one talking about printers. Let's see. What size do you recommend for a sub print on the back of a shirt? There is no set size, guys. You have to know your shirt. Every shirt is cut differently. Designs are different. Some designs are wider than they are like tall. There is no set design. I don't recommend going, of course, shoulder to shoulder across the back of a design, because most times you won't. I mean, you could go shoulder, because I see like the oversized ones. It really just depends. I mean, one, it's going to depend on your printer. If you want to piece things together, if you have a wide format printer, that your max size might be 13 by 19 or 19 by 13. It really depends on the design and the capabilities of your printer and whether or not you want to piece anything together if you have a smaller printer. But there is no perfect size. There just isn't. Even for the front, there is no perfect size. When I did that design that I had, wait, is it here? I just did some, so here's one of it messed up. So like with this one, if I just take this as an example, the widest part is here. But this is like way down here. A lot of times, I mean, I'm kind of sizing mine based off of here. If I would have made this based off of the standard size that everyone says to go to, this would have, like the major part of this would have appeared small, because when you're sizing and you're looking at your sizing, it's going to go off of the widest point. So for this size shirt, people would say like 10 inches. This part of the design would look really, really small because it's going to go off of here, which is the widest point. So I kind of sized this to where I made this kind of like my ideal size and like how I wanted this to look. So this is bigger than the quote unquote standard, but it's at the bottom. It's not in your chest area. It goes around a little bit, but I actually end up kind of, when I sized this up to the ideal size, this was way too long. So I kind of found a middle ground. Your design will determine how it is set up. All right, so that was the last one. So let's talk about these printers. I'm going to start at the bottom, work my way up. White toner printers. They're expensive, but they can be very beneficial. A white toner printer is simply a laser printer. If you don't want to invest in a white toner, you're not sure how it would work for you, you can purchase the papers that they use for it. And you can print on regular laser printers. Go to the sometimes Office Depot won't put it in there, or like Staples won't put it in theirs. I've gone to the library and printed out from like on the laser transfers. So you can go out to the library or different print shops, have your design, just purchase your paper. It's a 2-part paper. They can be quite pricey. You won't be able to do anything that has white in it or really light, like light grays. You can do lighter colors because it'll still pick it up. But like light grays, you really can't because it's not going to have enough toner. But white toner is just laser printer. Laser printers use toner. So if you want to try it out before you invest in a laser printer, because if you're going to do it, you can get the small one, but you're going to be limited in what you do, just like with sublimation. If you're wanting it for smaller items, like you want it so that you can put things on mugs or drinkware, wood pieces or keychain, like smaller items, that small format printer is going to work great for you. But if you want bigger items and you're kind of, you like bigger go home, that printer is not cheap. So it serves a lot of purposes. You don't have to use it just for white toner transfers. It is a laser printer. So if you are someone that wants to do prints on, colored cardstock, or if you want to do chip bags and stuff, the same thing that you would go to Staples to have printed out or Office Depot because they're using a laser, you can do that with your white toner. So many people look at it and all they see is like for toner transfers. But having that white allows you to print to color cardstock. You can get into doing like really custom wedding invitations and things like that, whether you print directly on it or if you print to the transfer and then press it to acrylic and things like that. So there's a lot of uses. And I think most videos don't really talk about those uses. The fact that it is just a laser printer that has white ink in it. It's a great it can be a great investment if you're going to use it, but it is very pricey to get into it. And it's not like printing on regular paper for the transfers. It is a 2-part. So it's more expensive, and it is a bit time consuming, but you have to let it print, which is it's gonna print like that. And then you marry the part B to it. And then you have to take that off correctly and make sure that, it's all done. So it'll probably take you a couple times to get used to that. And then you have your transfer. You can sell the transfers. You can use your transfers. They also have this one. If you want to try them out and you have just a regular laser printer, Glow's Custom Creations has like, it's just gold. So you can create these awesome metallic designs, and all you need is a standard. You don't even need a color laser printer. You can do it with the monochromatic, so just a black and white laser printer. You print it onto the back of the like colored paper, like they have gold foil, silver foil, all these other colors. You marry them, and then you separate them, whatever, and then you put it down. You can also foil over them. So it's a lot of uses with the white toners, but it is an investment. It's not something that's cheap. Your sheets for it, especially 13 by 19, is going to cost you. They have a couple different versions of it. You have the one to where it is a white toner, cyan, magenta, and yellow. So anything that is black is going to be a composite of cyan, magenta, and yellow. And then they have the one that has 5 toners: white, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So you get true blacks. That one is a lot more expensive. You will have to learn other softwares, specifically like Photoshop. There are RIP softwares as well, which will kind of let you know how much ink or how much toner you're using. So it's now more software that you have to learn. Are you up for that challenge? It's a great investment if you're using it properly. So I like it more than DTF. I know a lot of people like DTF. I think someone asked me that. It was like, well, or I think Charmaine said this. She said in the last one, she says her fear is she invested in sublimation and everything is moving to DTF. DTF is not like the great. I mean, each printer serves a certain purpose. One is not better than the other. One does not replace one over the other. It just allows for more flexibility. I mean, I have a regular inkjet printer. I have a sublimation printer. I have a laser printer. So each one just gives me different capabilities. So you don't have to fear. Like, it's not going to be, oh, I don't want a sublimation shirt, I want a DTF shirt. A sublimation shirt, you don't feel it. DTF, you still feel it. It is ink on top of it. You have to put the adhesive. It's a lot of steps to it. I'm not a big fan of DTF or white toner because it's just way too many steps. Like, if I'm going to do that, I don't know. Before I get a DTF printer, I'll probably get a direct to garment printer. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of DTF, but it's new, up and coming. It's kind of just like having white toner. It's just inkjet, and so that takes longer to print than the white toner. So inkjet, sublimation is inkjet, regular ink is inkjet, DTF is inkjet. So you have to wait for that to print. So it's not a fast thing, whereas laser it is. All right. Yes, anyone that has a laser printer, you can do it. Yeah, that's all. White people say white toner, but it's a laser printer. Laser printers use toner. That's all it is. So if you have a laser printer, you've probably been missing out because you can do it as long as it doesn't have white in it. You can put it on hard surface, because so there is 2 different types of papers. There's one for fabrics, and then there's hard surface papers. So it's more stuff that you have to remember, have to keep up with, and all of that. So it's an option. It's a lot more to keep up with, though. Okay, so the other question was about printers. I'm trying to find it so it's on the screen. Okay, I don't see the other one, but someone asked about wide format printers. Did a video. I'm going to do this part really quickly. And I don't see the other question, so this will probably be the last one because we're almost on an hour anyway. So this will probably be the last question that I answer because I don't see any other ones posted now anyway. So for wide format, right? If you did not get in on 7720, 7710, 7210, 7110, 7610, 7620s, those days of like the most convenient, what I consider to be the best wide format sublimation, most economical sublimation option, those days are gone. If you didn't get a printer, you don't have a backup printer, when it's time to replace a printer, you might not be too happy with what the cost, but it's how it's going to cost you. So That's why I'm keeping my printers for backups. Sawgrass is okay. Like, you get different colors. I have a Sawgrass. I'm going to set it up. I'll show you guys the difference in them. I've seen the difference from like Patrice's when she does it. It's just, to me, it just doesn't pop enough because it's gel-based ink versus water-based ink, and it just being a true inkjet. So it's not quite the same, like, but sometimes that's our eyes, and we think that brighter colors, which sometimes are off, but it just looks brighter, are better, where the original image is a little bit more subdued, but we're like, oh, it looks blah, it doesn't pop. But that's the way it's supposed to look. Sometimes we get, our eyes plays tricks on us because your computer is backlit. It's going to make something look super, super vibrant. But now you're putting it on something that's not backlit. And especially if you're trying to avoid the glossy shirts, your prints on a cotton-like shirt will never be as bright as one that's on a silkier shirt, because that texture, that material of it helps with that brightness and that shine of it. When you're putting it on like a cotton shirt or like a cotton-like shirt, it's like it's matte. That's like looking at oh, here we go. It's just the coating. This is matte, this is glossy. I'm not saying that this is not great. Like, it's a really high quality print. It looks great. But when you're looking at glossy, especially if you put them, like if I just look at this by itself, it's not, I don't consider this to be dull. When I'm looking at it, I mean, the black is black. It's, to me, I mean, it's saturated. It looks great, in my opinion. But if you do put it next to something that's glossy because it has a coating, you're going to feel like this is dull compared to this, because this is matte, this is glossy. So there is a difference in how it shows up. But anyhow, I'll say all that, get back to the point. You have now the 7820, 7840, 7310. Those are the workforce printers that use cartridges. It is going to be your most economical option. However, you cannot do just like the 7720s and just take them out, put them back in to reset it, or use a chip resetter. So long term, it's going to cost you more money because you have to buy chips to replace those chips whenever it goes out. Hopefully a resettable option comes out, but as of right now, you have to change the chips. So it's a great option. My issue is I feel like it prints slower than the 7720s. When you look at the specs, it's supposed to be pretty much the same. But when I go and I print stuff, things print out a lot slower here than it does to my 7720 that's at the main desk when I'm doing pigment ink prints, because mine is just a pigment ink printer. So for me, and seeing how fast that one prints, if I was on a time crunch, I would hate that printer. But if you are someone that's going to plan efficiently and you're planning out your jobs and you're not rushed, you're not going to notice how slow it prints. Even on plain paper, bright white set to high quality, it prints a little bit slower than the 7720. But you're not going to notice that. But it is your most economical printer to purchase. Like your initial purchase is the most economical. And then now that we have dropped the price on our chips, and China has dropped the price on the chips, so we're going to go over here and crunch some numbers, right? So let's go with I was actually trying to clear the whole thing. All right, so let's go and say with the next one up, the least expensive one after that is $6.99, because you can't find, there is the one that's like the 15,000, and that one is $5.99, so it's $600. But now it's the 8550. That's the one that's 13 by 19 and the next lowest cost, right? So that's $699.99, basically $700. So if we subtract what the highest price one, which is the 7840, so we're going to subtract $299.99, right? $400. You divide that by, well, it's 57. So let's say with shipping, most places it averages about $8-9. Let's just take it up to an even 10, right? So we're going to say to purchase the chips, if you're not purchasing anything else, $57 for the chips, $10 for shipping. So it's going to be $67. So we're going to divide this by $67. You have 6 refills with this. It really depends on how often you are printing. As far as like how far this will go. So 6 of them. This could last, if you're going through 1 a month, this could last you 6 months. If you're not doing like a lot of like prints, it could maybe last you 7 months. There's really no way to tell how long it will last, because it is based off of like your prints and what size you're going to print to. But that will get you 6 refills compared to that particular printer. Now you have the 8550. It is $700. But with that one, you have to then get an extra. Well, you don't have to get an extra black. The one black will actually fill both reservoirs because, well, at least with our bottles, we sell 140 milliliter bottles. So it will fill both of the black reservoirs. There is no special sublimation ink for that other one. There is no special one. There is no, okay, the photo black is going to come out better than the regular black. You just need to put black in both reservoirs. But you also now have to buy an additional ink, which is the gray ink. It can last you a really long time. If you're printing, if you're not printing that much, that's going to last you a really long time. If you're kind of, in business and you're printing a lot, you're going to eventually have to refill that ink anyway. I don't know if there's anyone that has a 15,000. And if you're doing a lot of 13 by 19 inch prints, maybe you can kind of post how often you have to purchase ink or refill your tanks up. I don't have one, so I can't say exactly what it is, but maybe someone can answer that for you. So like that's the next one up. 15,000. Ever since they came out with the 8550, I don't see on many websites where you can find the 15,000. But if you can't find the 15,000, it is $5.99. So that is like the next one as far as expensive. So the 7310 runs you about $199. The 7820, $249. The 7840, $299 retail. But you can't find, there has been a sale where the 7840 was $199. So if you can get it for $199, now you go from, so that was what, $699.99 minus $199.99 divided by 67. So now you get 7.5 refills if you were able to get that cheaper. The next one after that, as far as that's wide format, is the 16600, which I never see those. I only see the 16650. That is $1,123.99. So basically $1,124, right? Minus, let's just say 300, which is the retail. That's $824. Divide that by 67 if you are buying your replacement chips one by one. If you go and you get like 2 sets, you're now cutting that shipping cost down. If you buy your chips along with paper, you're cutting that shipping cost down. But this is if you were buying the chips 1 set at a time and paying for the shipping. So now you get 12. So if you're deciding between a 16650 and a 7840, you now get 12 and some change, like, well, basically say 12 because it's not quite half, so it's not near 13, but you'll have 12 chip changes. And if you're going through 1 a month, that covers you for a whole year, and you didn't have to buy that all at once. Whereas with the EcoTank printers, you're paying that money up front. So if you don't have that money up front, the 7820 may be your best option if you're trying to keep your initial investment low. The 7820, 7840, or 7310 is going to be your best option. Yeah, so she says, how often are you printing? Do you print a lot? So she says, I have an EcoTank 15,000, and so far I've been trying to get your inks, but it's been a year and the ink has not ended. Goodness. But so about where is your level now? Is it still pretty high? Is it about halfway? So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't realize y'all was talking to my screen. So for wide formats, the options are, it's going to cost you money now. It's either going to be a large initial investment, or it's a smaller investment with the 7840s, but you're going to pay more as of right now. Who's to say? Like, I mean, when we first got these chips, I don't know how many months ago, they were super expensive to get these chips. The cost of them was probably the same amount, if not actually probably a little bit more. And then with shipping that we charge for like 252s. And now that it's been out for a couple months, and now that they have another printer, the cost overseas, they're producing them a lot for the production of them is cheaper. So they're selling it to us for less money. The cost of those may go down again, and it won't be such a big investment. Or they may come out with a continuous ink system, or they'll come out with a chip resetter or a resettable chip. Then it'll go down more. Then you'll be just like the 7710, 7720, which those started out the same way. When it was a 76 series, they had single-use chips, and eventually they got the resettable chips. So it may not be this way the entire time. It may go to where they will have a resettable chip. We just don't know. As of today, you have to continually change out the chips, but it is the cheapest option to get into. And y'all know I'm an advocate for workforce. If something goes wrong, those are a lot easier to fix than it is, especially the large format ones. You cannot get inside of a large format printer to fix anything, to pull ink out of the line. You can't even get to the lines. Like, you pretty much have to break it the way the top is. So 15,000, 1850, 16,600, there's no way to get to those lines like you can with the 2720 and the smaller format printers. So you just have to kind of, like I said, it's a tough decision. It is. I wrote that in someone's post. Picking a large format sublimation printer now is a very complex decision because there's so many different things that you have to weigh. She says it's halfway. It's great, but I want your ink. And yeah, there's no way to draw the ink out. There are many manufacturers that have made aftermarket white toners that can be switched out for black when the white is needed, and then you switch back. Yeah. So for the ones that's just the 4 colors, I have seen where you can kind of just switch them out. And then there's the one that has 5 where it has all of the colors anyway. I need the chip bag course. We have that one. You can, I don't think that one is on, I don't know. Is it on the Academy site where you can get access to it? Before, when I had that class, the playbacks was via a share drive. I think it might be on there, and you can take that course. I don't know when a new one is coming up, but I also just did a whole live on it. That was a course. Like, I just did a whole live on chip bags. What is the best machine to print and cut graduation bands? The rest, like, for wide format, Cricut just doesn't, it just can't do it. So if you're wanting a large print and cut, you're going to have to get a Cameo. And I do all of my print cuts. I have 12-inch Cameos. I don't have a 15. I don't have a 24. I have 12-inch Cameos, and I still do amazing print and cuts for graduation fans. Now, if you're talking about printers, it's going to be a Epson Workforce printer. So certain ones, not every laser printer has it where there's a toner that's manufactured for everyone. There are some companies it's for a certain HP printer, and they're called ghost toners. So they make them. It's a third party one, but they don't make it for every single laser printer that's out there. It's only for specific ones that they make the ghost toner. All right. So it is basically 4 o'clock. We have to go get, what the heck is that? Oh, we have to go get Zion Imani from school, and I have to go try and get a new phone. I am debating because there is no new note. Like the note that they had was a year ago. Best Buy was like, I don't think you're going to find anywhere. We still have the display, but we don't have any. So I'm like, it's either the Samsung, was it S6 something 5G or S21? I don't know, somebody like that, which I don't really care for that one because it's kind of skinny and I like my big screen and it's shorter than mine. And I don't do great with little phones. So it's either that one or that flip phone that goes into a square. That looks weird. So I don't want the flip or the fold. The big part of it is like kind of cool, but I'm like, when I want to go and do stuff, like that's too big. I mean, it can be great for like planning stuff, different planner stuff I do, like planning for my classes, but I'm like, dang it, that sucker's huge. But then when you close it, it's thin, and I don't like thin phones, and it's thick. It's all get out because, of course, it folds, so it's thick. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do when I go into this store, but I definitely need a new phone because this one, it's not working. So it's either that or I just go ahead and bite the bullet and I pay Sprint or T-Mobile now $300 to get a refurbished one, like through the insurance. So I don't know. I have to make a decision when I get in this store or just make an insurance claim through Assurion and get a refurbished phone. Don't know what I'm going to do. But I know that it has to be quick because we do have a session at 6:30. I'm going to try and upload your images so that you guys can download them and be ready for class at 6:30 if you're in the academy. All right. So I'm going to go. Yeah, see, you're like me. You like notes, man. I don't know. I have the fold too, and I love it. Yeah, I have the note. What is this one? This is what, 10 or something? Which one is this? I don't know. So I have the last one before the last one that came out. So the last one was the 20. So I don't have that one. This is, because I was like, why the heck did the number jump up? I think this is the 10 plus. Yeah. And I've been working with this sucker. It cracked 5 months after I got it. And I've had it for 2 years with that crack on it. Just keep my case on it. Only thing that ever posted it's not in the community. You're going to have to go to, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell y'all that. Go to live sessions. I'm going to send the email out to tell you where it is. It's not there. It's not in the community because I just made it a direct Zoom. So go to where it says live, where you're supposed to be going back to watch the live playbacks of the study sessions. It's in there. So it says September lives and you should see the link. She says, fold for the win, Professor. I swear, because I only had notes. Yeah. But they said that one is over a year old. It's not something that's new. Like no new one came out this year. And so they think they're going to phase it out. So when I went to Best Buy, they're like, they don't have any more in stock. They didn't send them any new inventory because it's an older one. Hopefully when I go right to T-Mobile, they'll have a note, but I don't know. Oh, wait, who's calling me? I have no idea who this is. Oh, I'm glad I did answer. That was my dog groomer. My dog's got to get a bath tomorrow. So I don't know why her number didn't come up on my phone, but I'm glad I did answer. That was my dog groomer. Yeah, see, they said that they don't think a new one's going to come out for the note, that the fold is what's going to replace it. So I don't know. Did you already go get my child? No. Okay. I I swear these phones start acting up when they're almost paid off or new version is out. Very much so true. So yeah. All right, y'all, let me go so I can go get my child, go get my phone, and be back for my class at 6:30. I'm going to also send the email out to let you guys know where it was, but it's not in the community because I'm trying to. Some people said they couldn't find it over there, so I'm like, I put it. We're trying. So it's under where it says live sessions, live study sessions is where it's at. That's where the link is. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Don't forget to check to see if you are subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up. Come back, leave a comment. Visit our website, shop.silaholics.com. Like I said, there was a price break in the 8 to 12s. The paper is always there. Any orders in by 3 p.m. We ship out same day. After that, it goes out next day. And yeah, until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be ink credible. Peace.